In recent years, it seems that more and more of our top young players have been moving abroad to countries such as Germany to take up positions in full-time table tennis clubs where they can train in a professional environment. And today on the Expert Table Tennis podcast, I'm joined by Dan O'Connell, who has done just that, spent the last 2 years in Germany, and has now returned to Wales after playing in the World Championships in China. So I'll be talking to Dan about how that came about and his experience of training out there in Germany. I hope you enjoy the show. Let's get straight into it. On the Expert Table Tennis podcast today, I'm joined by Dan O'Connell, who plays in the Welsh national team. Dan, hi, welcome to the show.
Hi.
Am I right in thinking that you've just got back from the World Championships?
Yeah, I got back from Suzhou about 10 days ago now.
And how did that go?
Yeah, it was quite. It was good. Me and Charlotte Carey got to the last 32 of the mixed doubles, so we had a good result over Brazil. Then I played men's doubles with a partner from Pakistan, but unfortunately lost in the first round. And then in the singles, I won one and lost one, but it was only one goes through the group, so I ended there.
And that was a really good experience, was it?
Yeah, it was certainly a good experience to see all the Chinese spectators and how big the sport is over there.
Just to clarify where you're at the moment, I think you're ranked at about 600th in the world, is that right?
Yeah, around about there.
Which is pretty high. What's your ranking in Wales? Because I looked on the website and it was a bit confusing.
Yeah, it's due to Ryan Jenkins and Stephen Jenkins not having played recently, they've dropped off the world ranking. So when you drop off the world ranking, you drop down the Welsh ranking as well. So
Okay.
now, since I'm the highest Welsh person on the world ranking list, I've gone to the top of the Welsh list as well.
Yeah, I saw that. So you're technically number one in Wales now.
Yeah, technically on the ranking.
So are those two not playing at all anymore?
I'm not sure. I think Steve's had a bit of an injury with his foot recently, so he's not played. And then I think Ryan's not playing internationally so much, but he's still going to play on the Grand Prix circuit.
Okay. So internationally, it puts you in quite a good situation.
Yeah, being shoved to the front of the team.
Yeah. Okay, let's go all the way back to how you got started in table tennis and kind of, I don't know, the first kind of 10 years of playing and when you were in Wales. So how old were you when you got started in the sport?
I was 7 years old, and my grandfather took me across to a local table tennis club in Tredegar.
Okay,
Yeah.
so quite a typical start.
Yeah, because he used to play when he was younger. Well, he was still playing at the time, but yeah, he'd played throughout his life, so he started me playing.
Cool. And how old are you now?
I'm 22 now.
22. So you've been playing for 15 years.
Yeah, a fair while.
Long time. And so then how did you progress from 7 kind of through to 18 kind of into the senior game? So for those first 11 years.
Yeah, between 7 and 9 years old, it was just sort of knocking in the local club. Then at 9, I got invited to be part of the Welsh national training squad.
Okay.
And so I was back and forth Cardiff there training with Alan Griffiths, who was the national coach at the time. Then I just sort of kept moving up, obviously, as I got older, moving up through the age ranges of the training groups. Done that till I was about 16, and then that's when I decided to move to Grantham Table Tennis Academy.
Right. So you were involved with Wales from a very young age.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to become involved with it at 9 years old.
And did you represent them kind of the whole way through?
Yeah, I think my first tournament was Hasselt in Belgium. I think I was 9 at the time.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes.
So that was quite good. Then at 16, you went to Grantham, which is a table tennis academy where you can play kind of every day and get really good coaching. How was that?
Yeah, that was really good experience again. Alex Perry was the coach at the time, and yeah, taught me a lot. And there was really good players there like Damien Nichols, Matt Ware, and David Macbeth. So it was obviously fantastic practice.
And was that quite a tough decision to move away from home, or did that kind of feel like the logical step for you?
I don't know. I don't think it was really tough. Obviously, I had to give it a bit of thought because being 16 and moving away from home. But no, I think it was what I wanted to do, so it was easy enough in the end.
And you improved quite a lot over that time, did you?
I feel I improved quite a bit. Obviously, being able to watch much better players than me in the practice halls and see what they do and how they practice, and how was good for me, and then I could start to implement it in my practice.
Was there a big difference between what you did at Grantham and what you've been doing before, kind of in Wales, or was it kind of just more of the same?
I think it was more of the same. Obviously, I could practice more often, but I think the main thing was just the intensity with which I practiced. Whereas maybe before I was just turn up to the training session and just do what I was told to do and then finish. But at Grantham, then I realised you have to really be applying yourself 100% every time.
Sure. Okay, so up to that point, I guess your development has been fairly normal. Then you left Grantham at 18, and what did you decide to do after that?
At 18, I moved back to Cardiff. I started in university, but I wasn't enjoying it at all, so I finished after a couple of months. And instead, I decided to do a sports massage therapy course.
Okay,
So that was just on the weekends, and then I was obviously still practicing throughout all this. And then I started to work in Cardiff City Table Tennis Club, so I started to combine part-time training and part-time work.
okay. And what year was that?
That was between 2011 and then 2013.
Okay. So you spent 2 years then working, doing some coaching, and continuing to play table tennis as well.
Yeah, I sort of split my time between the two.
And that seems to be for a lot of players that kind of reach the age of kind of 18, 19, 20. You need to kind of make that decision between kind of how much are you going to dedicate to table tennis. Like some players just quit altogether.
Yeah,
Kind of what were you thinking at that time, kind of long term? What were your plans and hopes?
um, not sure really. I wanted to keep playing, but then obviously I realised that I had to make a bit of money as well to cover the cost of living and that. So I was lucky that I could live in Cardiff and I had training and the possibility to work close by.
Yeah.
If I hadn't had the possibility to work locally, then I don't know what would happen. Maybe the table tennis would have taken a bit of a backseat.
And did you think that your table tennis as a player was continuing to go really well during that period, or did you feel like it was suffering a bit from kind of having the shared interests?
I don't think there was a massive decline in the level. Maybe I didn't continue to push on as well as I would have if I wasn't combining it with work. Um, I don't know. It sort of maybe stalled a little bit during the 2 years.
And that was 2011 to 2013, was
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
And then what did you go and do after that?
Then in 2013, there was a year left until the Commonwealth in Glasgow. So
Right.
I decided to dedicate at least the year to full-time training with the hope of arriving in Glasgow in the best possible form.
Okay. And so you moved abroad for that, did you?
Yeah, I moved to a centre in East Germany in Eilenburg. I knew Gavin Maguire, the Irish player, was out there at the time, so I got in
Right.
contact, and yeah, he sorted me out with moving out there.
Cool. So talk us through a little bit of the process of kind of making that happen, because I know a lot of players see English and other UK players going off to Germany in particular. It seems to be the place to go at the moment. So how does that process work? Kind of what are the German clubs looking for? Kind of what do you get in exchange for going and living out there?
Yeah, I was quite lucky that I knew somebody who was already out there. Otherwise, I wouldn't have really known when to start with contacting someone. But
Sure.
so I sent Gavin a message, and he spoke to the owner of the centre, who then asked me to go out for a week of training. So I flew out, practiced for the week, and then yeah, told him I'd be looking forward to moving out there. So he then sorts out a club for every player in the centre.
Okay. So you go over it. Was that kind of like a trial or something?
Yeah, I think so. It was obviously so I could see the centre and see if I liked it there, but also yeah, if he could see my level and yeah, what level I was playing at. So then he could arrange a club appropriately, or if he wasn't happy, then say no.
Right. And And you're saying a Ranger centre, so is that not just one club? Is he kind of involved in lots of different things?
Yeah, the centre that we moved to is there wasn't actually a club there. There's just a big group of players, and then every player there will play for a club somewhere in Germany. In Germany.
Okay. And how did the structure work? So what kind of level did you go into in the competition in Germany?
I played for a club in Oberliga, which the first year I played was the fourth division, and then there was a slight change to the structure. So the second season, it was technically the fifth division.
Okay. And is the standard in the kind of fourth, fifth division of Germany kind of around your level roughly?
Yeah, I think because there's six in a team, so I was playing at number three in the first year, and then number two in the second year, and that was around about the right level. I mean, maybe I could have played one division higher and played at five or six, but
Okay.
yeah,
So I was trying to work out roughly where your level is now, looking at kind of the England lists. I think if you were English, you'd be around 50th, but I don't know if that's accurate or not. What do you think?
I don't know. Obviously, I'm a bit biased to myself, but I think my ranking's a little bit lower than it could be because I haven't played too many Grand Prix recently or British League.
Yeah.
So but maybe I'm just being a bit biased.
So where would you put yourself roughly if you were English on the England ranking list?
I don't know really because I haven't looked. But yeah, now I'm gonna start playing British League and that, so hopefully I'll move up a little bit.
Okay, but like, yeah, I guess at least 50th or above is what you're saying, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd hope so.
So is that kind of the level that you need to be at in order to move abroad to one of these clubs? Kind of what level are they expecting? You say you go out for a trial and then maybe they might send you back.
Yeah, well, the centre that I got to, I'd say I was about in the middle for level wise. So there was plenty of players that were higher level than me, but then there were also a fair few that were below me.
Okay,
Um, then obviously the lower your level, I think they'll try to sort you out, but obviously you'll get less money from the club then, so it becomes a little bit harder to finance.
sure.
But yeah, there were quite a few players below me level wise.
So let's say you're an 18-year-old in England and you're ranked kind of 100 in England. Do you think that's a level where you would be able to go and make something like that happen in Germany, or do you need to be a bit higher?
I think possibly you could. Yeah, it might be a bit tough, but I think you could if you went about it the right way. Yeah.
Right. And how does it all work, money wise and accommodation, kind of paying for your living out there? Do you need to have parents that are going to be able to support you, or can you kind of break even through playing, or how does it work?
The first year I had a bit of support off my parents to cover accommodation cost and that. And then once I qualified as a sports massage therapist, the owner of the centre uh, said to me that for the second season I could live there for free in return for doing a couple of hours work for him
Okay.
with the players who had slight injuries.
So you managed to use your qualification to kind of get yourself a bit of a better deal.
Yeah, I was lucky that he let me live there for free. So then I didn't really have any outgoings apart from food.
Is that quite common that they'd give players free accommodation, or is it not normally like that?
I don't know about other centres, but in that centre, there's a couple of different players that were given deals if they could, do something for the owner.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. So thinking about, so did you spend a year out there? Was it 12 months?
And I spent 2 years in the end.
2 years. Okay. So you spent 2 years living in Germany, and that's training how many hours a week?
Well, a week, I don't know, but a day was 4 hours on the table and then an hour in the gym or service return.
Okay. So it is full-time training, isn't it?
Yeah, 5 hours a day.
And how would you say that the training out there is different to what you were doing at Grantham? Is it just more of the same again, or is there kind of like a different thing going on out there?
I think it was more of the same again, really. There wasn't any massive difference. I think the physical side of it was increased in Germany. in Grantham. I
Right.
didn't really do that much off the table.
Because I think some people seem to like we see players like Liam and Paul and Sam Walker heading off to Germany, and then they kind of come back completely changed players,
Yeah.
and you kind of think like, what on earth are they doing over there? That's kind of like, how can it be so different to England? Surely they're just doing the same thing. Um, like, what is going on over there? Is it just that they're able to put in all the work and eventually it starts to pay off?
Yeah, I think so. And also, you're surrounded then by players that are in the same boat as you, and they have nothing else to, do but play table tennis. So everyone you really talk to and that is just focused 100% on table tennis. So it's just really all you start to think about.
And I guess, like for a player like yourself coming back to Wales, you're now losing that environment of being surrounded by players that are all at a really high level and pushing each other on. Is that what you found?
Yeah, a little bit, but yeah, there's still obviously some players in Wales who, when they practice, practicing with the aim of getting better. Um, yeah, obviously the level in the centre in Germany was higher, but yeah, that's just how it is.
Okay. In Germany, what was kind of like a typical day for you? Could you run us through like a full day, just like a weekday?
Yeah, okay, so well, we go Monday, 9 o'clock we start, and from 9 till 10 we do some service and return in the hall. Then
Okay.
at 10 o'clock till 11 o'clock we do different physical exercises. So some exercises with TheraBands and that, some sprint training and some sidestepping around the table. Then we'd have a bit of a break then, and training on the table would be from 2 until 4 o'clock, and then from 6 until 8.
Okay. So pretty full on.
Yeah, and quite a long day.
And you've got kind of coaches out there that are working with you?
Yeah, so at the centre I was at, there was 4 different coaches that would split the sessions between themselves.
And were you working kind of all as one big group or in different smaller
There
groups?
was most of the time there was two small groups, so I think the maximum number of players that were out there at any time was about 40. So they'd be split into two groups of 20.
Okay. That's a lot of players, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
And these are players predominantly from Germany or from kind of all over the world?
Mainly in this centre, they were from South America. The
Ah, okay.
Yeah, the owner has some ties in South America, and he speaks fluent Spanish. So there was, I'd say, about 70% of the players there were from South America.
Interesting. Long way for them to come.
Yeah, they didn't go home often.
Right. Um, how did this work then with representing Wales and kind of were you doing international tournaments for Wales as well at the same time?
Yeah, so I'd fly back and forth if I needed to play for Wales. So you get given the dates for all the German league, and obviously there's some free weekends, but there were a couple of clashes as well. But then the clubs understand that obviously international table tennis comes first.
And all of the kind of Welsh team are quite happy for players to be off in other countries.
Yeah, I think Ryan Jenkins, the national coach, I think encourages it if you can, or if that's something you're interested in, because obviously he moved away when he was young, and he understands that that's the best way to get to high level training.
Sure. Okay, so now you've moved back to Wales. You just mentioned Ryan Jenkins. Are you working with him now?
Yeah, so I back and forth Cardiff a couple of times a week to have training sessions with Ryan, and obviously then there's a squad as well in Wales once a week.
Is that what? It's all in Cardiff, is it?
Yeah, so it's we have a national sports centre in Cardiff, so that's where all the training takes place.
And how close to Cardiff are you living now?
At the moment, I'm about an hour away, so I'm catching the train up and down.
Okay.
But in the next few months, I'm going to be moving back to Cardiff, so I'll be 10 minutes away.
Okay, so you're going to go and live in Cardiff for the next year or so?
Yeah, so I'm going to move back to Cardiff, and I'm looking to set up a sports massage business out of Cardiff City Table Tennis Club.
Okay.
So I'm going to set that up and combine it with a couple of hours coaching for money, and obviously keep the practice going on the side.
So that'll be your life for for the foreseeable future, do you think, living in Cardiff, continuing to train, doing the sports massage and some coaching on the side?
Yeah, that's the aim anyway. So I haven't got to give up table tennis, but I can still earn a living at the same time.
That sounds good. So do you think you will ever go abroad again, or do you think you're going to stay in Wales from now on?
I think full time I'm gonna stay in Wales, but I've got a couple of contacts like throughout Europe at training centres where I've been told I can go for a week if I need to. So
Sure.
maybe I'll be flying away for the odd week training.
Nice. So looking ahead kind of at future competitions and things, what's on your horizon that you're training for as a player?
Uh, Short term, obviously we've got the national championships because Wales haven't had theirs yet. So that's on the 6th and 7th of June. So
Okay.
that's
And
yeah.
what's your seeding for that?
Well, number one due to the ranking list.
But I mean, are Ryan and Stephen playing or not?
I don't think so.
Okay, so pressure's on you to perform there.
Yeah. So that's a short-term aim, and then long-term aim is looking towards the Commonwealths in 2018.
Okay,
I think because obviously Wales enter it separate to the rest of the UK. That's for Welsh players. That's the main aim, the main competition that everyone looks to play.
how did you get on at the last Commonwealth Games?
Quite well. The team was seeded 10th, and we managed to get to the quarterfinals. So,
Brilliant.
and then we didn't have to play off a position. So us and Scotland, New Zealand, and Australia finished joint 5th.
Nice. Okay, so sounds like you've got things sorted, and it'll be good to hear how you're getting on in Wales. You're going to be playing for Cardiff City next season, are you?
Yeah, they got promoted this season from Division 1 up into the Prem. So I'll be trying to help them if I can.
So what's the team going to be for them in British League? It's 4 in a team, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly. I think Nathan, who owns the team, is looking for a number one, like a strong number one.
Sure.
Then I think he's going to pretty much keep the team that played this year.
Well, that'll be good. That'll give you, some good match experience in Britain as well, won't it?
Yeah, now due to the increased prize fund, the level of the British League has really risen.
Okay, final question before we wrap it up. Who do you think should consider moving abroad? And what in particular are the benefits to going to somewhere like Germany?
I'd say anyone who's around 16 to 20, maybe a little bit older, and who enjoys table tennis and wants to be as good as they can be should consider it. Obviously, your level has got to be at a certain level, but yeah, I don't know. Anyone who really enjoys table tennis and is willing to work hard should definitely consider it.
And the way to make that happen is largely through kind of contacts that you might know with other people that have gone abroad.
Yeah, if you don't have any contacts directly, then start to ask around, because I think in table tennis you'll find somebody who will have a contact somewhere, and then
Cool.
speak to them. But it can be tough sometimes.
And they're looking for younger players, are they 16 to 20 kind of age?
The centres, I don't think they mind too much as long as you pay whatever they ask in accommodation, etc.
Right.
But I think that's the age to go to get the maximum benefit out of it.
Sure. Well, thank you very much, Dan.
That's okay, thanks.
It's been a pleasure talking to you. Are you on social media and things if people want to follow what you're up to?
I got a Twitter account which is just at Dan O'Connell.
Okay.
Yeah, and the picture is my face, so you can't miss me.
Brilliant. Okay. Thank you very much, Dan.
Thanks, man.
See you later.
Right, see you.
So I hope you enjoyed that interview. Do go and follow Dan on Twitter and follow his progress at the Welsh Championships coming up in a couple of weeks' time. I found that interview really interesting, particularly what Dan was saying about how often, even when he's progressing from Wales to Grantham to eventually going to Germany, the training and what he was actually doing was just more of the same. Kind of there was nothing radically different as to what he was practicing day in, day out. It was more just to do with being in a place that puts you in that environment where you're able to train for 4, 5, 6 hours a day, and you're also surrounded by other players that are living, eating, sleeping just table tennis non-stop. That's got to be such an amazing environment to be in, where you're just surrounded by these players and it's just table tennis, table tennis, table tennis. And no wonder he's improving and doing so well. Please subscribe to the podcast on iTunes. If you like it, you'll get all of the new episodes straight onto your device. And leave us a review. We still don't have any reviews. I know loads of people have listened to this. Please leave us a review on iTunes. It would mean the world to me, and it would help us get noticed and even more people find out about the show. I'll see you on the next episode. You've been listening to the Expert Table Tennis Podcast with me, Ben Larcombe, and Dan O'Connell. Thank you very much. See you later.